And the ANC is the first organization to acknowledge also its weaknesses. We do not wait for anyone elsewhere to say that there are problems in the ANC. That's why the ANC have agreed to adopt a renewal program to renew and fix all the ills in the ANC, because the ANC identified that the ANC has been infiltrated by criminals at all levels who no longer deliver what we promised to our people, who think the ANC is their platform of doing their corrupt ways.
I mean, like, that is exactly what the ANC is. That is the branding of the African National Congress. I mean, you remember even a few weeks back, Thabo Mbeki came out and said that, man, the reason why people are joining the African National Congress is not because people actually want to help the poor citizens of this country. People are simply joining the African National Congress because they see the African National Congress as a gravy train. This is what Thabo Mbeki said, that for years now, many people, men, have joined the African National Congress. Many people have joined the African National Congress. Not because they are worried about the direction of the country, not because they are worried about the unemployment rate within our communities, not because they are worried about the crime that is happening within our communities, no. Because these people, they see the ANC as a gravy train. So this is the branding of the African National Congress. It is the branding of the African National Congress. Man, I have never heard anyone saying that I am going to join the African National Congress, and the reason why I'm going to join the African National Congress is because, man, I can see the people within our communities are suffering. And I believe that the African National Congress, it is the only vehicle that can actually help us to help our people. I have never heard anyone say that. I have never heard anyone say that. And it is funny for Colin Malachi, man, the president of ANC Youth League, to stand there and talk about the people who have actually joined the African National Congress simply to promote their corrupt ways. I mean, like, if you look at Ramaphosa, the same Ramaphosa that Colin Malachi is kissing the feet of, how many people, men, have actually been named and shamed in Zondo Commission? How many people are still working with President Ramaphosa? These people, men, were exposed in Zondo Commission. Did Ramaphosa do anything about all of those people, men, that were actually named and shamed in Zondo Commission? No, Ramaphosa didn't do anything about them. He didn't do anything about them. So you have no right to stand in front of the country and tell the country that Ramaphosa is actually doing something about the corruption and the corruption within the African National Congress. If the ANC was serious about actually rooting out the corruption, man, Zondo Commission is there. The files are there. You just have to go through the files and kick people out. But no, this is not what the African National Congress has done, because it is not what the African National Congress is interested in doing. What those people, men, in Zondo Commission were actually accused of, it is exactly what the African National Congress does. So you cannot come today and try to dissociate the African National Congress with corruption. No, the African National Congress and corruption, men, they are like this. African National Congress and corruption, they're like this. I remember, man, I remember that time when Thabo Mbeki came out and said that for years now, people have been joining the African National Congress, not because they want to help the people of this country, but because they see the African National Congress as the gravy train. Man, you know, within the African National Congress, you don't have to be qualified for anything. That's why they have paid a deployment. You don't have to be qualified for anything. If you are a good standing member of the African National Congress, man, it doesn't matter if you dropped out of school in grade 9. If the African National Congress says it is your time, they are going to make you a minister of health, or they are going to make you a minister of anything. That is how the African National Congress operates. So people can actually see that, man, within this party, I don't need any qualifications. I don't need to go to school. I just need to listen to what the party says. I just need to follow what the party says. And the party is going to elevate me up. The party is going to elevate me up. This is the same thing that Colin Malachi is doing. He's doing the same thing. He knows within the African National Congress, man, you don't have to have qualifications. You don't have to be qualified. You don't actually have to be capable of actually doing nothing. The only thing that you need to do within the ANC is just to be a good standing member of the party. Then you are good. Good standing member of the party, then you are good, man. Look at our ministers. Look at our ministers, man. These people are ministers, man. 98% of them, or 100% of them, they're incompetent. They're incompetent. The reason why today you still have Nomvula Mkwenyane walking around, the reason why you still have Aaron Motwaledi and all of these guys are walking around is because these people are good standing members of the African National Congress. It has nothing to do with their capabilities. It has nothing to do with their qualifications. It has nothing to do with the fact that these people are actually capable of doing the job. No, it has nothing to do with that. You just have to be a good standing member of the ANC for the ANC to elevate you. So you can't come now and say the party that actually elevates people who are not even competent to do some of the job what they are tasked to do is the party that doesn't advocate for corruption. Of course that party advocates for corruption. Of course that party advocates for corruption. You guys are elevating people who are incompetent. You guys, man, you have your councillors, your mayors, your MMCs, all of these people under the African National Congress, they are a mess. That's why if you look at our country today, man, you look at our country, it is a sad state of affairs. It's because of the incompetent ANC members. These people who are sitting there, they are incompetent. This is the reason why our country is like this. But the president of ANC Youth League, man, has the guts to stand there and say that, man, people must not see the ANC as the vehicle to corruption. Of course, the ANC is the vehicle to corruption. Of course.
Is the ANC introduced a step-aside policy as part of the renewal program. A lot of these small parties that have been formed are formed out of a program of renewal of the ANC because the renewal project can no longer be with criminals in it. The ocean called the ANC is cleaned them out into small parties.
So according to Colin Malaj, getting rid of Isma Khashule and actually having spats with Jacob Zuma, that is the renewal of the African National Congress. He says nothing about the members within the African National Congress. Man, these people, man, have been accused of corruption. He says nothing about the mayors of the African National Congress. He says nothing about the councillors of the African National Congress. He says nothing about the premiers of the African National Congress. He says nothing about the parliamentarians of the African National Congress. He's telling us about Isma Khashule and Jacob Zuma. So for the people, so are you telling me that for the people of South Africa are actually supposed to believe that getting rid of Isma Khashule and having fights with Jacob Zuma, that is actually the renewal of the African National Congress, because these people, men, have decided to step away from the party and start their own political party? Is that the renewal from the African National Congress? Then clearly these people are not serious about the renewal. Because if these people, men, were really serious about the renewal, man, the ANC was going to do a sweep from top to bottom, from bottom to top. They were going to do a sweep. It doesn't matter if you are a mayor. It doesn't matter if you are an MMC. It doesn't matter if you are a councillor. Man, if you are implicated in anything, they get you out. Man, that is the renewal. That is the renewal. But you know the ANC will never do that. So for you to try to make us fools by trying to tell us that people, by getting rid of people like Isma Khashule, that is actually the renewal process in work, man, it means nothing. Getting rid of Isma Khashule means nothing. It means nothing. You didn't punish Isma Khashule. You didn't throw Isma Khashule in jail. So it means nothing. It means nothing, man. Renewal actually means getting rid of people, man. Getting rid of the people within the African National Congress, man, and dragging these people to court, getting these people prosecuted and thrown to jail. That is what the renewal means. You can't tell me the renewal means that, yeah, just because we are having public spats with Jacob Zuma now, it is the renewal because, yeah, the ANC is an ocean. It cleans itself. You can see some of these people, they have left the party and started their own political party. And that is the renewal of the African National Congress. Who are you trying to fool? Who are you trying to fool, man? The ANC still has a lot of people who are corrupt. A lot of people who are corrupt are still within the African National Congress. Some of these people, man, we don't even know of. We don't even know of these tenderpreneurs of the African National Congress. We don't know of. They are corrupt to the core. They are still within the party. And you want us to tell us that the same people, the only two people that you fought with in public, that is the ANC renewal process. Ramaphosa will never be able to renew the African National Congress, man. Not even Jesus, man. Not anyone can be able to renew the African National Congress, man. The African National Congress is far gone. The party is far gone. Ramaphosa will never be able to renew it, man. Even if Jesus comes back, he will never be able to renew the African National Congress. The party is too corrupt.
Some of them have been defending them for years.
Talking about Jacob Zuma, man. I like, you know that saying when, you know that saying that says, when people tell you about who they are, you should believe them. Mbalula told us that, man, we defended Jacob Zuma. We lied to the people of this country, defending Jacob Zuma. The ANC, man, went to the newsrooms. The ANC, they went to the podcast. They went to the radio stations saying, man, this is not what Fikile Mbalula meant. Fikile Mbalula went again to ANCYL and said, guys, the ANC lied to the people of this country to protect Jacob Zuma. Now the ANC Youth League president is saying the same thing. They're saying the same thing, but the same people, man, you know our people, man, I'm starting to feel like, man, I'm losing hope for black people within this country. I'm starting to feel like we are losing hope. These people, man, are telling us of their corrupt ways. Just because you are telling us that the ANC is the only party that can actually acknowledge its mistake, it doesn't mean that if you come out and tell us that you lied about protecting a corrupt president, it means that we must forgive you. Of course, we want to forgive you, but we no longer want you in charge. We no longer want you in charge. But no, man, our people, man, are wired in a very weird way. Our black people within this country, man, they are wired in a very weird way. I do not understand this thinking. I honestly don't understand this thinking.
Instead, some of those people who are jumping around, they've caused more damage to the brand of the ANC than any other president of the African National Congress. Maybe we must remind them. We must remind them that the ANC spent close to 20 years defending them as individuals. And we must take responsibility as the ANC that out of that defense, we must learn something from it. Because sometimes you might think that you are defending and you are building a cult.
The ANC has defended these people for over 20 years. So he's telling us that the ANC for the past 20 years, the ANC, man, didn't care about the people. The ANC didn't care about the people. The ANC only cared about protecting itself. This is exactly what Fikile Mbalula told us. But we know this is not new because people of this country, man, we know that the ANC was actually protecting Jacob Zuma. We know the ANC was protecting Jacob Zuma the same way the ANC is protecting Ramaphosa. It is not new to us. It is just fascinating to see them actually confess it to us. But it doesn't mean that it's new. For 20 years, just imagine these people for 20 years, they were prioritizing on the party. They were prioritizing on the party. They didn't care about the country. The country today, it's a shithole because these people, man, who are in charge of the country, they were prioritizing on the country, on the party. They didn't care what's happening in the country. Now they are coming to us and saying, guys, we have defended these people for 20 years, and can you please forgive us and give us another 30 years? We have defended these people for 20 years. Can you please give us another 30 years? This is exactly what they are saying. This is exactly what they are saying. And the people of this country, man, they're simply going to swallow it. Swallow, swallow, swallow. Take it in. Take it in. Because even if you speak with the people within our communities, man, people will say, man, if we vote out the ANC, who are we going to vote for, man? There is no party to vote for besides the African National Congress, man. That is the mentality within our neighborhoods. If you do not live in the townships, then clearly you don't know of this talk. But I'm telling you, because I live in the townships, man, I speak with people, man, almost every day. I speak with people. People will tell you that, man, there is no party to vote for. I am going to vote for the African National Congress. Man, our people are simply refusing to look the other way. They are simply refusing to give other political parties, to give other leaders, man, to give other people who have brilliant ideas on actually what to do to move this country forward. Man, our people are refusing to see anything. The people will tell you that, man, if I don't vote for the ANC, I'm going to sit at home. If I'm going to wake up one day and decide that I'm going to the polls, I'm going to vote for the African National Congress. This is what the people are saying. And this is the reason why, I mean, I'm honestly starting to lose hope within the black community. I'm genuinely losing hope within the black community because it seems like there's nothing that we can do. There's nothing that we can say to actually save these people, man. Even the people who are in charge of the country, they are spitting in their faces. They don't budge. They don't budge. So what about us? Do you think us coming on this platform, do you think me as a podcaster coming on this platform and telling black people that, guys, you need to start voting better, do you think these people are going to listen to me? When the same party they entrusted with governing the country is spitting on their faces and there's nothing they are doing. Do you think me, I can actually be able to convince people that, guys, how about maybe like we vote, you know, how about we look in the other way, man? How about we try out other political parties? How about we try out other leaders, man? You know, we have people, we have the independents. How about we listen to these people who come as independents? What is it exactly that they want to do? What is it exactly are they trying to do? How about we simply listen to these people? I mean, our people are simply even refusing to listen. They are refusing to listen. I'm honestly losing hope, man. I'm honestly losing hope.
Because people will think that we are defending them because we are defending the position that they occupied. When we defend President Ramaphosa, we're not defending him as an individual. We're defending the office of the president.
I mean, like, only fools can believe that. Only fools can believe that. You can't tell me that Ramaphosa was caught red-handed with the whole Palapala scandal. And when people actually want him to take accountability, you're going to say, no, we're going to defend the office of the president. We are not protecting Ramaphosa and his pala scandals. No, that's not what we are doing. We are protecting the office of the president. This person actually wants us to believe that the ANC is protecting the office of the president. They are not protecting the people as individuals. So if you want to protect the office of the president, then get rid of Ramaphosa. Get rid of Ramaphosa and get someone with credibility within the office of the president. Then you can protect the office of the president. And that is how you protected the office of the president. You can't tell me that you're going to take someone like Jacob Zuma and protect Jacob Zuma for entire nearly 10 years. And now you want to come out and say that you were defending the office of the president, not person as an individual. The ANC did not even hold Jacob Zuma accountable. The ANC didn't take Jacob Zuma accountable. The ANC is not taking Ramaphosa accountable. And you are trying to tell us that you are protecting the office of the president. You are not protecting the office of the president. You are protecting an individual occupying that office. You don't care about the office of the president. Because if you really cared about the office of the president, you would get rid of Ramaphosa and say, Ramaphosa, go out in the cold, go and face the music. We're going to get someone with credibility to occupy this office because we respect this office. If the ANC done that, man, it would have made sense. It would have made sense. But now it doesn't make sense. Because you are protecting people, man, who are actually, the law is waiting to hold these people accountable, and you are protecting them. You are protecting them. And you are saying you are protecting the office of the president. How are you protecting the office of the president when you are also protecting the people who are occupying the office? There's a difference between protecting the office of the president and there's a difference between protecting the president. You guys are defending the president. You are protecting the president. You are not protecting the office of the president. You don't care about how the office of the president of South Africa looks to the world. You don't care. You don't care that we have Jacob Zuma in the office of the president of South Africa. You don't care about that. You don't care about the fact that we have Ramaphosa in the office of president of South Africa. You don't care about that. You only care about the fact that we have Ramaphosa, we have Jacob Zuma. You don't care about that office. Who are you trying to fool? Who are you trying to fool? You are not fooling me, and I am sure you are not fooling a lot of people. Who are you trying to fool?
The day he leaves the office and does his own things, we don't care, we'll defend the new president. That's how the ANC works.
Of course, you defend the president, not the office. You defend the president. I like it when you say you defend the president. Stop saying you defend the office. Because your actions...
As an individual, we're defending the office of the president. The day he leaves the office and does his own things, we don't care, we'll defend the new president. That's how the ANC works. But the president...
So these people, man, are simply telling you that the way they protected Jacob Zuma is the same way they protected Ramaphosa. And they are also going to protect the next president the same way. They're simply telling you that as long as we have a president under the ANC in South Africa, that person will never be held accountable. The same way we protected these two criminals is the same way we are going to protect the next criminal. When the ANC tells you who they are, you should believe them. You should believe them. Our people, men, are failing to believe these people. They are failing to believe these people, and these people, men, are simply telling them in layman's terms who they are. Fikile Mbalula, man, you remember the interview he did with ANCYL, man. Fikile Mbalula was so calm. He was so calm because he wanted South Africans to actually understand that the ANC lied to the people of South Africa and protected Jacob Zuma. This man, he is calm, telling you that if Ramaphosa gets out of office, if we have a new president, we are going to defend that person. The same way we protected Zuma, the same way we protected Ramaphosa, we are going to defend the same person with the same vigor. So they are telling you that if the ANC gets rid of Ramaphosa, the next person that is going to occupy the office, man, I'm telling you, they are going to protect him the same way. People are simply failing to listen to what the ANC is telling to them.
As we celebrate these achievements of the African National Congress, we must acknowledge that there is a disaster happening in the country, the biggest disaster of youth unemployment. It is no longer an issue of debate, President. It's an urgent matter. Because when the youth of the country are unemployed in majority, they're on the streets of South Africa. They end up doing crime. They end up being on drugs. They are causing more problems. Everything we try to resolve, if you can't resolve the issue of youth unemployment, we are moving backwards, not forward.
says the new president of the ANC Youth League, the same person, when he got to office, he never laid it out how the ANC Youth League is going to actually operate to combat this issue of high unemployment rate, suicide, and depression. The first thing that Colin Malachi fought for when he got to office, he fought for positions. He fought for positions, saying that, man, the ANC, they need to let go of 50% of their parliamentarians, and all of those people, man, they need to be replaced by young people. He doesn't care about the future of young people in this country. He never said anything about what the ANC Youth League is going to do to actually help young people in this country. The first thing that he did was to fight for positions. Even Gwede the chair of the ANC, once reprimanded him and said, man, you need to slow down. You need to slow down. You just got here and you are telling us that we need to vacate office for you guys. You need to slow down. I don't know why the president of ANC Youth League keeps talking about unemployment. He doesn't have the ideas of actually getting rid of unemployment. He doesn't. He doesn't. The fact that he thinks the ANC, the same party that is responsible for the 60% of young people in this country being unemployed, is the same party that can actually fix that. It shows you that this person, man, has no interest in helping young people of this country. He has no interest. Every time when Colin Malachi speaks, man, you need to listen to him. He speaks like a career politician. Colin Malachi, man, will never even inspire young people within our communities to actually do some things about their lives. What is it the ANC Youth League has actually proposed for young people in this country? What is it that the ANC Youth League is going to do in the next coming years to help young people in this country? Young people in this country, man, today, they still don't know what the ANC Youth League is going to do in terms of helping them. Colin Malachi, man, sounds like a career politician. The first thing that he did when he occupied office, he fought for positions. And after that, he attacked Julius Malema. So he has no intentions of actually having discussions about what is really happening in the country. He has no intentions about what is really happening in the country. You listen to him talk there. He's a politician. He's a politician. Do you think young people within our country, man, do you think young people would actually listen to Colin Malachi? No, they won't listen to him. But if Colin Malachi actually had ideas, or if he actually had proposals on how to actually fight this issue of unemployment within South Africa, man, he would take any opportunity given to him to actually tell young people in this country that, guys, this is what we need to do, and this is what we are going to do. You can't tell me that if the first thing that you're going to do, you're going to fight for positions within the African National Congress and tell us you are fighting for young people in this country. How are you fighting for young people in this country when you are fighting for positions within the African National Congress Youth League? I mean, like 80% of the ANC Youth League is unemployed. 80% of the people within the ANC Youth League, those people are unemployed. And these people, man, are walking around telling young people in this country that, guys, we can help you with unemployment. How can you help us with unemployment when your whole structure is unemployed? Your whole structure is unemployed. You walk around the country saying that we need to fix and fight this thing of unemployment rate. You know, the president, with the young people in this country. You don't have the ideas. You don't have the ideas. You need to step on the side. You don't have the ideas of actually helping young people in this country, man, to actually fight this issue of unemployment rate. Because if you had the ideas, you would actually talk about these ideas. You would actually do more interviews talking about these ideas. You would actually start up a campaign. The ANC Youth League will start up a campaign going from neighborhood to neighborhood, going from informal settlements to informal settlements, going from farms to farms, mobilizing young people, man. Actually, you know, riling up the mood of young people, man. The morale of young people in this country, man, is devastating. Young people in this country, man, they are living a devastated life. That's why you see them every day. They are drunkards. That's why when you see them, man, they are smoking drugs and doing all of these things because they are devastated. They are depressed. And you have the ANC Youth League president standing there talking like a career politician. And this person honestly believes deep down in his heart that he can actually impact the lives of young people in this country. It is a shame. It is a shame that the ANC, man, has bought this young guy called Colin Malachi as the president of ANC Youth League. It is a shame. Colin Malachi doesn't have the ideas. He doesn't have the ideas. So I don't know why he keeps talking about the unemployment. I don't know why he keeps talking about unemployment. There's no need for him to talk about unemployment. There's no need, man. Young people in this country, man, we are faced with so many problems. We are faced with so many problems. And for people, man, who are simply trying to get rid of the crannies and the grandpas within the African National Congress for them to occupy the positions, they don't care about young people within this country. They don't.
Now it's an urgent matter that, President, we need to attend to. We need to be selfish, President. We need to utilize our raw materials that we have beneath our soil, given by God, to resolve our socio-economic challenges of this country. It can be, President, that a country, a continent like Europe, that has got no raw materials, but their secondary and tertiary industries are thriving, creating employment for the youth using our own raw materials. We're saying, President, as we celebrate 112 years of the ANC, we're saying we must put export quotas. Not more than 70% of raw materials must leave this country.
I mean, like, these are just political statements. This is not something that Ramaphosa can actually implement. These are just nothing but political statements. It is nice to say that, man, our minerals must stay at home, our minerals must be refined here, and all sorts of things. But the ANC has already signed the deals. The ANC has already signed the deals. So that's why our minerals in the country, they don't even belong to us, because the ANC has already signed the deals. So for you to say all of those things, man, this is nothing but political stance. It is nothing but political talk. The ANC will not be able to do all of these things that you are asking it to do. They won't. They won't. The best thing that the ANC can actually do for young people in this country, man, is to create a conducive environment, man, actually be a clean governance. Provide a clean governance for the people of this country, man, so that you can attract investors. You guys are not attracting investors. Many young people in this country, man, have lost their jobs because of the ANC. The ANC, even right now, man, is failing to hold on to the investors that we have currently. How many companies right now in South Africa are threatening to leave the country? They're threatening to leave the country. Why? Because we don't even have electricity. We don't have electricity. You guys are failing to attract the investors within South Africa. You are failing to attract the investors. How can you even attract investors when you don't even have electricity?
These raw materials must remain in this country to create opportunities for the youth of the country. These raw materials must remain in this country to be utilized to a program of the reindustrialization program that the ANC has agreed upon. We do have the solutions, which are raw materials we have. We have the soil to resolve the problems here in agriculture. We're saying, President,
I mean, how many farms does the ANC has? How many farms? ANC has like thousands and thousands of farms, if I'm not mistaken. How many farms does the ANC have? How many people, man? How many people's lives were actually improved by those farms? ANC has the farms. They are in government. Why are they not doing anything productive about that land? ANC has land. You know, these people, man, they always stand on those stages and pretend like the ANC doesn't have any land. The ANC has land. It has massive land. What have they done with it? What have they done? Nothing.
those are the solutions that we have. Let's be decisive. If it means that they must put sanctions on us, they must do that. Let's use our resources to resolve our own problems.
Even if they must put sanctions on us, they can do that. Says a politician that will never be affected by the sanctions. These people don't know what the sanctions mean. You guys don't know what the sanctions mean. Right now, Zimbabweans are scattered all over the world. It's because of the sanctions. South Africa does not want the sanctions. We cannot survive the sanctions right now in the country. We barely can even survive. As things stand, can you imagine if South Africa is sanctioned? We cannot survive the sanctions. So politicians are always calling politicians are always calling for South Africa to be sanctioned because they know they will not be affected by the sanctions. But the sanctions affect the poor majority. The sanctions affect the poor majority. Look at ZANU-PF, look at Zimbabwe. Look at Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe is under the sanctions. Do you think the ZANU-PF cadres are suffering today? No. The ZANU-PF cadres are still having a nice life. ZANU-PF cadres, man, they're driving the nicest cars, man. They're flying private, while the citizens of this country, man, they're starving. So the sanctions never actually affect the politicians. The sanctions, man, are made to actually punish the public. So you are saying that even if the public is punished, let the ANC do what it wants to do. Some of these things that politicians are calling for, man, I don't think they even understand what some of these things actually mean. They don't understand what some of these things actually mean. This is the reason why I say that, man, for South Africa to stand there and to talk about these global wars that are taking place all over the world, if anything, man, South Africa is making all of us unsafe. If anything, this government of the ANC is making South Africa unsafe because South Africa is not protected. You saw Patriotic Alliance recently exposed the government. Guys, we are exposed. If people want to attack South Africa, man, if any group were to attack South Africa today, they would do it with ease. They would do it with ease because South Africa is exposed. But politicians, man, can always manage to fly out their families out of the country. When things really goes bad, politicians will be able to fly out their families out of the country. What about you? Will you be able to fly out your family out of the country? No, you will not. You will not. So these people, man, they must be careful. Honestly, they must be careful.
And we've resolved that. We have shown bravery, President, when you attended the issue of Israel. And we're very proud of you, President. You are the most fearless president. The bravery you showed to resolve the issue of Israel.
I mean, like, South Africans would love Ramaphosa to have the same bravery to deal with corrupt politicians within the African National Congress. South Africans would actually love for Ramaphosa to have the same bravery, to have the same energy, to have the same vigor, dealing with the issues that are facing South Africa. But Ramaphosa is all over the world. Him and Naledi Pandor, they are all over the world, pretending like South Africa is a world superpower. When we are nothing, when we don't even have defense, these people are all over the world, pretending like we are some kind of big shots, when we are not. I would actually love for Ramaphosa to have the same energy, focusing on the issues that are affecting South Africa. I would love for Ramaphosa to have the same energy, focusing on the issues that are affecting young people within the country. I'm not going to clap hands for Ramaphosa because he has decided to take Israel to court. I don't care about taking Israel to court. I care about the people of this country. I don't care if the ANC decides to drag Israel to court. That is not going to do anything. It is not going to help the poor people of this country. It is not going to change the poor people's lives in this country. It is not going to do anything for South Africa. There is nothing that taking Israel to South Africa to ICJ is going to do for the people of this country. So I'm not going to clap hands for Ramaphosa, who is failing to deal with the issues that are facing South Africa. Ramaphosa is failing to deal with the issues that are facing South Africa, but he wants to pretend like he's some sort of a Superman taking out Israel to ICJ. He wants to pretend like he's a Superman taking Israel to ICJ. When we have South Africa, and South Africa right now is failing him. His past 5 years has been nothing but failure. Maybe his international friends, they are impressed with him by actually what he has done. Yeah, you are brave. Taking Israel to court, you're actually brave. Maybe his international friends, they are proud of Ramaphosa. But the ordinary citizens of this country, they are not proud of Ramaphosa. The ordinary citizens of this country, they are not proud of Ramaphosa. So I don't know why those people are clapping hands, but I understand that hall or that venue is full of ANC beneficiaries. This is the reason why those people are clapping hands. There is nothing to clap hands for. There is nothing to clap hands for.
The same bravery was shown to resolve the high level of inequalities in this country. It can't be, President, that 112 years later, 30 years into democracy, the demographics of the country, the economy of the country does not reflect the demographics of the country.
Whose fault is it?
The face of poverty is still black in South Africa, while the minority reflect the demographics of the country. The face of poverty is still black in South Africa, while the minority still control the bigger parts of the economy.
Whose fault is it that the face of poverty in South Africa is black? Whose fault is it? Whose fault is it? Do you guys remember that party that governed South Africa for 30 years? That resulted in hundreds and hundreds of firms leaving South Africa. resulting in thousands and thousands of people, if not millions, losing their jobs. Do you guys still remember that party? Of course, it is the fault of the African National Congress. It is the fault of the ANC with your 30% nonsense. Right now, you don't even have critical thinkers within the country because of the ANC. The reason why the face of poverty in South Africa, it is black, it is because of you guys. It is because of you. It is because of you. And if we really have to look at the numbers, the face of poverty within South Africa will always be black because the majority of people within the country, they are black. You will always be able to find poor people who are black within South Africa. The ANC, it is your fault. It is your fault.
Now, the strong message you must send, President, in 112 is that enough is enough. We've been patient with them. Those who want to be with us must be here to build with us. Anyway, President, those that are drivers of the economy of this country, they are funding regime change. Yeah. Now, there's nothing that we are begging because they are funding for the removal of the ANC out of power. It is clear that the banks, everyone wants to take the ANC out of power. Now, what are we begging, President? We must be decisive. The more
Maybe, just maybe everyone is sick and tired of the African National Congress. Maybe even the people who used to give money to the African National Congress men are sick and tired of the ANC. How about that? How about that?
The most important thing that, President, you must move on as I conclude, National Chair, is that it can be that the financial sector is managed by few monopolies of few banks in this country. We're saying that, President, the Post Bank must be elevated to a bank of choice. The African Bank must be elevated to a bank of choice. And that must be the banks that all the state entities and government must bank with them. Salaries, everything must move to those banks. We want to see these banks that fund the DA, how will they survive? Because they can use our money of the black majority to remove us out of power. Now we're saying, President, let's cut the cake. Let's celebrate. Don't be scared to speak about our achievements and to speak about our challenges. We're saying victory is certain. The ANC will win. The ANC will come out victorious. We'll win all the wars, all the metros. We'll win all the provinces. There is no collusion discussions we're going to because we're going to have enough majority to govern on our own and deliver the manifesto of the ANC. Amandla!
I mean, guys, if you were a young person in the country, man, would you actually take this person serious? Would you actually take Colin Malachi serious, man? I cannot take this person serious. I cannot take him serious, man. Like, it is hard for me to take him serious. Because he sounds like a career politician. He does not inspire hope. Nothing. So, guys, please tell me what you think about the speech of Colin Malachi on the comment section. Don't forget to hit that like button, and the most important part is subscribe. My name is Thomas Mabaso, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.